Okay, so let this be a lesson to you. Never try the light skin is better than dark skin, because all you do at the end is just show your own self-hate. Your own self-hate your mother had, your own self-hate that you have, the fact that you're not really pro-black at all because you don't like your blackness, you don't like your mother's blackness, you think white people are better than you. And you can see that by your eye contacts, the way you're trying to make your skin look lighter in some videos, and so forth. But a major thing I wanted to address in this video was never try and do the whole light skin is better than dark skin. The reason why you don't is because you're connected to dark skin. You can never get away. And because of this, you only condemn yourself. Because basically you're saying that you think dark-skinned black women are inferior or whatever because you think your light-skinned mother is better, your biracial mother is better. So what you're basically saying is that your biracial mother is inferior to white people. So, this is why I don't appreciate the whole idea of trying to say light skin is better than dark skin, and I see the flaws in it. I guess because I was raised with this mentality of like, oh, don't you dare try to ever think that your skin tone is better than dark skinned black people, and they will tell you why. They will. That's how I was taught long ago, and as a kid was just basically, you never see your own skin tone as better than a dark skinned black person's, because it's going to be obvious. All you're doing is admitting that you think that blackness is bad. Well, you're black, or you're part black. That means you're part bad. You're part evil. You're part tainted. And compared to the rest of the population that's white, we don't live in Africa. You're putting yourself below 80% of the population. So this is why it always turns around on you when you try to make that narrative. You make it out to be that you see yourself as the lowest type of black female, basically. And when you try to make the assumption that dark-skinned black women are ghetto, that's just weird, because I know a lot of dark-skinned black women that I follow and so forth. They're always called like Oreos or whatever. And many of the time they're not considered, people who are ghetto or anything. But your type of lingo and the way you speak is very ghetto. Like if you were on a phone and you were bothering people on the phone, like say you were working for a political campaign. Like I've worked for a political campaign, and you have to do like on the field, basically surveys, calling people up and so forth, getting other people's opinions out there for that particular political campaign, so they see where their constituents are mentally, basically how they can appeal to them and what their obstacles are. If you sounded like how you are presenting yourself right now, they would definitely call you the N-word because they can't be bothered, and they want an easy out. And so sometimes they just call you the N-word so then you can stop bothering them. You see, with me, I've never been called the N-word because I don't sound like I'm ghetto, and I don't sound particularly different than any white American. That's because I sound mainstream. This is just because I grew up more in like normal areas. I didn't grow up in like ghetto areas like that you're talking about, basically. So, making the assumption that dark-skinned women are like prostitutes or whatever, or live on the street or something, that's just very weird to me. It's like, I think you're just upset because you are lower class female who is chasing after a very ghetto man by the name of Big Money, And you're mad because I do not carry myself that way. My mother doesn't carry herself that way. My grandmother doesn't carry herself that way. I don't even think my great grandparents carried themselves that way. This is because my family has a long history, basically, as middle class black people. And so I come from a long line of middle class black families. You know, I don't come from really that like lower class type of family. I mean, like, you don't even talk about your dad. That's interesting. I wonder, was your mother married to your father? I mean, my father died before I was born, so we can't really say anything about were they married. I mean, but yeah, they were, but I mean, like, they weren't, you know, together when I was born because they died before he died before I was born. But you don't even talk about your dad. I mean, I talk about my dad more than you talk about your dad, and my dad died before I was born. That's pretty messed up. I don't know. Like I said, it's probably because you don't even know your dad. She probably was with a lot of black men from prison, and you know, you might be lucky just not to have gotten the HIV that your mother probably contracted and could have given to you. But I don't get why people would think lighter skin would mean more success. That's not how it works. Literally, my dad's side of the family is super ghetto, okay? My dad's mom's side of the family is super ghetto. They look down on that side of the family. My dark skinned side of the family, my mother's side, they look down on my dad's family because my grandma had kids with like 5 different men. That's why I have a step grandfather with a Hispanic last name. There's plenty of other people also that I have, well, I don't have, but I mean, that are my uh, aunts and uncles' parents that I'm not really related to, but she decided to have kids with. And my grandma's light skinned. So, I mean, like, if we were talking about that type of lifestyle, well, I guess it would be more appropriate for, I guess, light skinned women. It makes sense that light skinned women are a little bit more promiscuous because dark skinned men do hound after them. So, I mean, like, it is what it is. Even though it's not just dark skinned black men. I mean, like, my father isn't the product of a dark skinned black man. His father is, like, his color, not dark for sure. So, yeah, that's just my perspective on that. Like, you trying to make up and trying to act like, darker skinned women have to be prostitutes or they have to be whores, they have to be easy. That's just because you have a negative view towards dark skinned black women and you see them lesser than you. Funny thing is, that's probably why it hurt you so badly that Anna Sweet Ginger was trying to treat you like a dark skinned black woman because, you think of dark skinned black women as apes and prostitutes and women that are supposed to be passed around and not chosen or something like that. You know, and like I said, that's why you need to try and make yourself as light as possible so you can get picked because you feel like you won't be picked because you're close to being too dark for a black man to choose. And that's not me saying that, that's your words. I think dark skinned black women are beautiful. And I think there are many dark skinned black men that love dark skinned black women. And I also think that they have a good selection of men outside of their race. Like, they do. They just do because they have that power of the opposites attract, more than you could ever have. Because you have a jigsaw amount of different racial structures all over your face, all mismatched, basically. Like, you have different things all put together. It's not a black phenotype that you have, it's like a jigsaw puzzle of different racial traits you got going there. In the end, you're just mad because you're a mutt's baby and you're not black. You don't have a black mom. And you're jealous of me because you think that you look less mixed than I do. That's why you try to attack my mother more because she's dark skinned than even me. My mother never even did anything to you. See how you are? It shows your internal problem and why what this all was started off of was because you looked at me and you looked at yourself and you got mad because, like, nobody gets plastic surgery to look like you. It's just what it is, you know? And you understand why you're not desirable. You know, it's just what it is. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and comment down below.